I love reaction videos. And no, I don't mean these reaction videos, or these, or even these. I'm talking about Blindwave, The Normies, Filmbuff, Autosave, channels that watch entire TV shows for the first time, trying to evoke that first time feeling in a jaded viewer who's watched their favorite TV show too many times to count. The best feeling in the world is opening my YouTube homepage to see one of the reaction channels I watch just started one of my favorite series. It's a similar feeling to finally convincing one of your friends to watch your favorite TV show with you, where you're excited to see their reaction to your favorite moments, laugh at the parts where you laughed, cry at the parts that made you cry. Now, not all reaction channels are created equal. Some are funnier, some cry harder, some are extremely analytical, while others barely say a word. But one thing these channels all have in common is the format. A small box, usually at the bottom of the screen, playing the episode that the reactor is reacting to, which has been cut up to include only a portion of the entire thing. In other words, a reaction highlight. Now, there's two clear reasons for taking a highlight approach. Firstly, it's more engaging than showing the entire episode. You skip over all the boring bits where the reactor isn't reacting and are left with just the good, entertaining bits. But more importantly, these reaction channels believe that it makes the content more transformative in an effort to avoid copyright strikes. They're not just showing the entire episode, but are only including the bits that are important to the reaction. Hence, they would claim that the reaction is a substantial transformation of the original episode and is now a separate derivative work. This is important because of the two famous words, fair use. In almost all circumstances, you can only create a derivative work if you receive permission from the copyright owner, and almost certainly these reaction channels don't ask for that. So then comes fair use, a flexible US legal doctrine that allows for the use of a copyrighted work without permission in certain circumstances. The Fair Use section of the US Copyright Act provides some examples of fair use, such as criticism, commentary, and research, and provides 4 factors to consider when defending the use of a copyrighted work. In simple terms, these factors are why and how the work is being used, what the nature of the original work is, how much of the original work is being used, and what impact the work's use will have on the work's potential market or value. What this basically means is that if someone accuses you of using their copyrighted material without permission, then you could defend yourself in court by saying that your use of the material falls under fair use, and how your use relates to these 4 factors would be a key part of your defense. When it comes to reaction highlight videos, I take issue with the 4th factor, the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work, a factor that some channels are quite mindful of.
This is not a market substitute.
This isn't a market sub.
Not a market substitute, support the official release.
Reaction videos are edited in a way so that they provide enough context for the story of an episode so that people can understand the reactions without having a good memory of the actual episode. This often involves including bits where the reactor isn't saying anything at all, purely because the scene is important for a reaction to a later part of the episode. A compilation of out-of-context moments where a reactor is just reacting to a specific moment of an episode is not as engaging, as it's difficult to follow due to lacking the context that makes the emotions of the reaction feel earned. In other words, the appeal of a reaction involves seeing the build-up so that you have enough context to feel the emotions of the payoff. And here lies the issue at hand. Enjoying a reaction to an episode depends on understanding the context of the moments being reacted to. You must include enough of the original episode such that the viewer would understand why the moment being reacted to is being reacted to in the manner that it is. In other words, a successful reaction must capture the heart of an episode. And from this stems my argument. Reaction videos are market substitutes, but the market in this case isn't the market for watching TV shows, but rather rewatching them. Let's begin with the active argument. Why would I pay for a subscription to Disney Plus to rewatch the first season of The Mandalorian when I can just watch Blindwave reacting to it for the first time, or even seek out a new reaction channel for an even fresher reaction? You get all the worthwhile moments you're looking forward to in your rewatch in the reaction highlight, alongside the reactions of people watching for the first time. It's the best of both worlds. Sure, you might be missing out on a few minor moments that maybe some people care about, but a good, successful reaction video will make sure you get the gist of all the important moments, while being easier to access, taking less time to consume, and of course being entirely free. People will actively seek out reaction videos to series as a substitute for rewatching the series itself. Hence, the active choice to seek reaction content instead of a rewatch harms the market for the original content. On the other hand, we have the passive argument. Let's say you just finished binging all 62 episodes of Breaking Bad. Are you more likely to immediately start watching it again a few days later, or a few years later? I'm sure that we can all agree that the more time that passes after you've finished a series that you liked watching, the more you feel the pull to rewatch it. Distance makes the heart grow fonder as we slowly forget the details, giving us a more fresh rewatch experience. If we can agree that reactions are edited to convey the core moments of each episode of a series, then we must concede that watching a reaction series will delay our next rewatch of the series itself. Put simply, you watch Breaking Bad and you like it a lot. Almost a year goes by and your favorite reaction channel starts reacting to it. So you slowly watch their reactions week by week, and your need to rewatch the series plummets right back to the initial lowest point after finishing the series yourself for the first time. You were never actively trying to replace your rewatch with a reaction series watch through, but it just passively happened. Hence, the passive action of watching reactions to TV series cannibalizes the rewatch market. Now, I don't run a reaction channel and I don't make TV shows, so my only evidence I have to back up these hypothetical scenarios is my own experience, which is that I've fallen into both of these camps many times in the past. For one of many examples of the active case, I watched Hunter x Hunter in 2018 and have since watched 3 reaction series week to week from beginning to end, and I'm currently watching another one. I couldn't possibly imagine going back to rewatch the whole series again when there's so many reaction channels out there that I could experience the series through with a new, fresh perspective. As for the passive case, there's Mr. Robot. I watched season 1 when it was airing and dropped season 2 a few episodes in, and for quite a while now I've been meaning to rewatch it, but haven't quite had the time. But a few months ago, Blind Wave started reacting to it, and I've been watching their reactions week to week, and now I have no real motivation to go out and rewatch season 1 on its own. The reaction cannibalized my rewatch. Now, with all that out of the way, let me defend reaction videos, because after all, they are my favorite content on YouTube, and they offer significant benefits that in my opinion outweigh their costs. Firstly, reaction videos are free promotion for the shows being reacted to, introducing audiences to new series that they might have never considered. I have an irrational dislike of pirate-themed media. It just isn't for me. It's set in the boring olden days, the way pirates speak is all weird, and it's always the same tropes: searching for treasure, fighting with swords, and living a free life on the open seas. That was until Blind Wave announced that they were going to react to Black Sails, so I decided to give it a watch. Turns out, Black Sails is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my entire life, and there was a 0% chance that I ever would have watched it if Blind Wave didn't react to it. And this is just one of many shows that I watched because of Blind Wave's reactions. Gurren Lagann, Code Geass, Umbrella Academy, Ruby, and many more of my favorite shows have come from Blind Wave's reactions. Additionally, reaction videos can act as a retention tool for a long-running series. This means that if a viewer drops the show, but continues to watch reaction videos as the show continues on, they can stay engaged with the storyline even after they decided to drop the show, hence increasing the likelihood that they might return to the show at a later point in time, perhaps when the show gets good again from their perspective. This is exactly what happened to me with The Walking Dead. After 7 seasons, I was no longer enjoying the show, so I stopped watching. However, I kept watching reaction videos because I still enjoyed seeing the reactions. So flash forward a few years, and the final season was airing, and I'd actually started somewhat enjoying the show through the reactions. So I ended up subscribing for 2 months to a streaming service to watch the mid-season finale, as well as the final episode of the season. If it weren't for the reaction videos, I never would have watched another episode again. It's not much, but it's a net positive for sure. Again, I love reaction videos, and I don't want them to be changed at all. I just get a little frustrated whenever I hear the normies say this is not a market substitute, when in my mind, it so very clearly can be. Viewers can actively replace rewatches with reaction videos, and reaction videos can passively delay or even prevent rewatches altogether, effectively cannibalizing the rewatch market. In today's world, where streaming services rely on recurring revenue rather than one-time sales of DVDs or digital downloads, the rewatch market is an essential part of their entire business model. And just these 5 reaction channels alone received 45 million long-form video views in the past 28 days, which undeniably has some level of impact on this rewatch market. Determining whether this is a net positive or net negative and the extent of this impact would need some actual data, which I absolutely do not have. But as a huge fan of React content, I can say unequivocally that although they may have stopped me from rewatching a bunch of TV shows, reaction channels like Blind Wave and The Normies have led me to discovering shows that have gone on to become my absolute favorites. In my mind, they may be substitutes for the rewatch market, but at the same time, they're an interesting evolution in how we engage with media, striking an interesting balance between creative expression and market impact.